Well, welcome back to Driveway Garage. Today I'm working on my smoker again. It's like the third time. Let me flip my camera around here, show you what I got going on. So I got halfway through a cookout after I replaced the motor and stopped working. So today I broke out my cheap shop vac. I sucked all the pellets out of it. First I cleaned the shop vac because it had a lot of dirt in it because I sucked up a lot of dirt. Cleaned the filter and it plugged up a few times because of the long pellets. So I just took this long screwdriver, unplugged it. It seemed to work better when you shut it off, then unplug it. A few times I could just poke the screwdriver down the tube. It would get plugged up right where my thumb is. So I got it unplugged, sucked all the stuff out. Now I'm going to plug the barbecue grill back in because I stole the power cord for the vacuum. I'm going to see if this auger is turning because it's got a new motor in it. Otherwise, I don't know what the problem is, but we're going to find out. So give me a second. Now the other day I came out here and I tried it and it sounded like it was working, but it didn't seem like the auger was turning. The fan came on. It was trying to light. I could look down inside of it and see that the little heat glow plug was getting hot, but it never did light. It doesn't seem like it was moving pellets. So let's try it. We'll turn her on, hit the power button. So the auger is definitely not moving. Zoom in a little bit here, maybe. So for whatever reason, the auger's not working. So what I'll have to do, like I did last time, is I'll move it over a little bit. I'll tip it up on the end after I clean it out, the stuff out of it. I think there's a pan of oil in there. And take this, 4 screws on the side here that hold this on. Then I can get to the auger and the motor and see. Maybe that motor I bought is just junk. I don't know. But let's give it a try and find out. Well, I cleaned out the inside of the grill. Everything's piled up over there, except for that tray. Now I have a little easier access to this. Now this is the blower fan, and it's working. In order to get this off, I need to take 4 screws out, 2 on each side. Normally I'd go get my drill and do the power mode, but I'm going to see if I can do it pretty quick with just a manual screwdriver. You know, the old-fashioned way. Let me get that off there and see what we're looking at. I got the screws out. I just flipped the cover backwards so it's sitting up on there. If you're doing this with it flat on the ground, like I did last time, part of it, you can set it on a 5-gallon bucket or a trash can, because you don't have a lot of room to go with this power cord here. Let's turn it on real quick. And the problem is, once you turn it on, the blower motor's going. It's trying to light. You can't just turn it off and it'll stop. The blower motor's going to keep going. So what you got to do is go over and unplug it and start again. But let's see if this motor's even doing anything. Now you see this little gizmo here. This is what I did to fix the rotating motor, because before the motor was getting a little bit of a bind. There was nothing to hold it in place. It was connected. It's connected to the auger here, but it kept moving. And then eventually it was wearing a hole or place down here from hitting, and then the motor will eventually just rotate completely over. Not a very good design, so I drilled a couple holes, put a couple bolts with 2 nuts to try to get it level, and then I put a metal strap around it, put some self-tapping screws into it. That's how I made the motor solid, but now it's just not turning. Let's see what happens. Turn her on. Now I have found sometimes you push your power button, nothing will happen, so you got to push that button. But anyway, as you can see, nothing's working. This isn't even turning. So that makes me think this motor's bad, which is a brand new motor. Well, let me shut her off, unplug it, and I'll check for power going to it. I took this little screw out. It goes into this plastic bushing that keeps the auger stable. And this motor just seems like it's froze up. It just doesn't want to turn freely. So I went ahead and got my drill and a bit. I'm going to take these two screws out, and then I can pull the auger completely out and see if it will rotate when it's not into the barbecue grill. So let's see how that goes. I turned it on, and then I turned it right back off because it's working. You'll see the auger turning and the fan turns on and it's starting to crawl. Shut it off so I don't damage anything. So somehow or another this thing is getting in a big bind. Now I took this auger off and I cleaned it all up with the on my drill, not what do you call it, bench grinder with the wire brush. So I got that nice and smooth. But I didn't have any way to get down inside this hole and clean it up. My thought is these pellets are getting jammed in there against the side of this because this was really coated with a lot of creosote or whatever. It's probably more inside of here, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to get a drill extension and a wire brush, a round one, and go down in there and try to clean that out as best I can. And that's probably not going to happen today. Right now it's about 107 degrees outside, and I don't feel like running down to the hardware store. I'll have to see what I have for round wire brushes that'll fit on a drill. Maybe there's something I can run down in there and clean that up. It could just be these pellets. I had problems with another batch of pellets. In fact, they're right there. I saved them for why, I don't know, but they kept jamming up the auger. I think they were so hard they would get in there and the auger just couldn't crush them and couldn't move. This is supposed to be a new upgraded motor, a little heavier duty. The way I could find out is I could take this faceplate off, see what it's made of. I took the other one apart and it had some broken teeth on the gears. I think there's 3 or 4 gears in there. Some of the teeth were broken, so once it got to that point it would just quit spinning. Maybe I'm going to have to take this one apart also to see if it's already snapped the gears. If it is, I'm going to have to go right to PittBoss and see what they recommend. Maybe they have a better auger motor. Anyway, it's working. It's just evidently in a bind, because now this is turning freely. Before, it had a lot of resistance against it. I don't understand it. I don't want to have to keep going through this all the time. It's like you get in the middle of a cook and come out and everything's cold. Kind of spoils the barbecue. Last time I cooked tomahawk steak, I had to finish it in the oven because this thing just stopped right halfway through. Well, I will save this video and then I'll update you as I make some progress, see what's going on. Of course, you're not going to know that because it'll just all be blended together, hopefully. Well, I decided to try some different pellets because when the motor was out, it was working just fine. And it is a new motor. So I went ahead and put a new bag of pellets in, or at least, enough to get it lit. I got it burning now. I'm just going to let it burn for a while. And give it 30 minutes to an hour and see with these new pellets if it will go ahead and stay running. If it jams up again, I'm going to know it's something to do with the auger or the motor. And I'll give PittBoss a call, see what they have to say. Maybe they'll have some suggestions. Now, I remembered from what I said the other day, this is actually the prime button. So you push that and it'll make the auger go faster. So you can, if you run out of pellets, you can feed it faster. What I did is I turned it on and got it started, and then I cranked it up to high. That way the auger would turn faster. And then I turned it back down to low. I'll dump some more pellets in there so it doesn't run out. I've got the other pellets I took out in the vacuum. I'm trying to decide if I should just throw them away. save them for a couple years like I did the others in this bucket. I had the same problem a couple years ago with that one, but I ended up having to replace the motor, so maybe that was the problem there. I just don't know. How do you tell if a pellet is too hard to go through the auger? And they're PittBoss. This is the bag, so it's not like it's some generic cheap brand. It's PittBoss. I was thinking maybe it's something I bought at Walmart or someplace, but there's a farm store here in town that sells them, and a lot of times I think they're like $14 a bag, but it's been a year since I bought them. I don't remember. Who knows what they are now. Anyway, I'm gonna let this burn for an hour and just see if it keeps burning. If it does, then I'll blame the pellets and I'll fill it up with these new pellets and we can continue smoking. And then I'm thinking maybe, I can't remember when the last time I did a burn off, I'll go ahead and load everything back in the smoker and crank it up to 500 and let it burn for 3 or 4 hours. That turns everything to ash, all the grease and everything inside your smoker. Anything that's built up on your grills, like you can see those are a little bit built up. It'll turn that stuff to ash and makes it a lot easier to clean up. We'll see how this next hour goes. I'll get back to you. Well, it's been a half an hour and the PittBoss is still running. I just have it on smoke. But it's working just fine. It's feeding the pellets, so I'm going to blame it on the pellets until I know better. So I'm just going to have to get rid of those pellets. I'll go back to the store I bought them at. But it could have been Walmart too. I don't even know. Without a receipt, I don't know if I could get my money back. And for $14, it's probably not worth the hassle. So I'll just use this new bag of pellets. They're a different color. They're a lighter brown. And they break pretty easy. Let's see, where's those old ones? Here's the old ones. I dumped the trash can or the vacuum into here. And see, that takes more effort. Those don't break as easy. I can't say twice as much effort. But definitely, well, no, that one's not breaking easy. That one broke easy. Pretty easy. So most of these are breaking, I would say, twice as easy as those others. So maybe these get in the auger, it'll break them, they'll pass through. Those are too hard to just jam up the auger. I think the only answer would be to get a higher amp, a motor with more power, so it could crunch them up, but I don't know if that's possible. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have a similar problem, you know, in my case, replace the first motor because it had broken teeth, and then to get a jam up. So I'm just going to blame the pellets. So maybe you guys should stay away from those pellets. Competition blend, real wood flavor, not that imitation wood flavor that you get downtown. Anyway, thanks again for watching. If anything changes, it jams up again, I'll post another video. Thanks for watching.